guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I am Mike. Thank you for taking a moment of your day to watch this video with me today. We have a Scream update. First off, the trailer came out the other day. We put up a trailer reaction for it. It was fucking awesome. And they did such a good job with the trailer of not spoiling anything, but letting us know exactly what the movie's going to be about. Ghostface is back. We're in New York City. Surviving cast. That's all we need to know, right? And they did it so amazingly. Just a short, quick teaser trailer. And didn't spoil anything. No plot points given out. You will go see that movie. If that was the last thing you got and you went and saw that movie, you would have no idea what beats were coming in the movie and what was where and all that stuff like that. Now, granted, we're probably going to get more for sure, right? We always do, because we're fucking whores, man. We'll get more, sure, but as predicted, as soon as the trailer came out, the anonymous, faceless, scooper, spoiler people of the internet started coming out and being like, actually, that scene there is this person, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, shut the fuck up! They went out of their way above and beyond to not spoil anything, to let us go in and see it just a couple months away, just March, and have a good time watching it and not be spoiled whatsoever. And now they're going to do their thing because they're not getting enough attention. And then they'll tell two friends, and then they'll tell two friends. By the time the movie comes out, all these things will be common knowledge. But we mustn't dwell. Not today. Not on Rex Manning Day.
I heard you on the wireless back in 52.
So the directors of Scream 6 were interviewed by Total Film Magazine, and they asked them a bunch of questions. They gave them a really nice interview. I'll put the link down below so you guys can check it out in all of its glory. I won't be too particular on it because there's nothing too particular in it. Once again, they're doing a good job of not spoiling stuff. But some things that I did pick up, they made it a point that the sister relationship between Tara and between Sam was going to be a big part of the story. They also said that they didn't keep the killer a secret from the cast this time. Remember last time they gave out several scripts or whatever, they wouldn't tell anybody who the actual killer was, but they said, hey, let's just make this all together. So the cast has been in on the killer and the plot and all that shit since the very beginning of production, and so far so good. I know you're gonna say I'm crazy for this, and maybe this is just because I truly believe Neve Campbell's coming back for Scream 7, but they confirmed that Roger Jackson is back as the voice of Ghostface. For me, had he not been back, that would have been a bigger deal than Sidney not returning. You know, I feel like that is just one of those things that you're gonna notice. And I don't feel like we should take him for granted, because if we didn't have Roger Jackson as the voice of Scream, I don't think it would ever be the same. I know it sounds crazy because people just make, but you can tell, right? When someone does a Loomis impression in like the Halloween Kills trilogy, as good as it sounds, you know it's not Donald Pleasance. And I feel like it'll be the same thing if we ever lose Roger Jackson. Comment down below, by the way, because I think that's a good question. Some people will think I'm crazy, but what do you think is more important going forward in the franchise? Not in the past, because I know Sidney Prescott, and this franchise wouldn't be here without Neve Campbell being as great as she's been as Sidney Prescott. But just a question, going forward, who do you think's more important to the franchise in the future? Would it be a Sidney Prescott, or would it be the actual voice of Ghostface himself, Roger Jackson? Speaking of Ghostface itself, holy shit, it's Ghostface! So they're really going to lean into the whole New York thing, and we're going to have Ghostface in some strange situations. And we're also going to point out, as I've seen many people who live in New York say, be like, no, that trailer's pretty much how it would be. Nobody gives a shit in a New York subway. They will just watch bad shit happen to you, and they're going to lean into that kind of meanness. Something interesting about the trailer that I was thinking about as well that we didn't talk about the other day, what if these people aren't just Halloween-agans out for a fun Halloween night, and Ghostface is just a popular costume? What if, maybe not all of them, one of them has like clear nail polish showing, but what if this was a group of Ghostface? What if there was a cult situation going on with Ghostface? Think back to the dude in the store with the shotgun. What if there's a bunch of people out here doing crime? Let's do crime as Ghostface! And they're out there doing fucked up shit, and they're being either ran by a ringleader, maybe Stu, we'll talk about that soon. Or maybe there's something completely different, and this allows Ghostface himself, the new Ghostface who actually has a purpose singular to these survivors from 5, get his shit done in the middle of this busy ass city, because the police could be like, hey, look, we got a lot more to deal with than just you guys. We got guys out there with shotguns. I get that this guy's making scary phone calls and chasing you with a knife, but we got guys out there with shotguns shooting people in subways or bodegas or whatever, so we care, but right now, that's our main priority. That would be something weird to feel that small in that big city and not matter all this. Like back in Woodsboro, you're the biggest fucking shit going on, right? They said it's going to be meta once again. They say they will always honor that, but it's not going to be that meta. They said the movie is aware of itself, but we were really careful on this one to make sure we weren't telling a story that wasn't just meta, that it also existed on its own. Because again, we wanted to make sure that this wasn't a retread of what we did in Scream 5, and that was part of it, but it's not Scream if it's not aware of itself and having fun with those tropes. So we definitely do lean into them still. And to me, that says, hey, we're still going to do the Scream thing, but we're really leaning into this movie itself this time around. And I respect that. I feel like we did the Force Awakens thing. We did an all awesome, well-oiled, pure, no huge risk taken Scream movie, apart from fucking Dewey dying. Wrong kid died. You know, they still just made a well-oiled machine. This is the one where they're going to take swings. And I think we're going to see some crazy shit, Steve. They did confirm, of course, that Nev could still come back for 7, which is what I believe is going to happen. I think that... this is just a wild guess, okay? But in my opinion, it makes sense that the argument was about she wanted full pay to come back for a small role in this one, a cameo, if you will, and to be the lead of 7. They didn't want to pay her the full price for that. So that's what makes sense for me, that they always planned for her to come back as 7. And I think that's still on the table. I think that part will be resolved. But who knows, maybe not. And finally, on to the biggest thing we have to talk about, that big stew-sized fucking elephant in the room. So, writer Kevin Williamson, and not writer on this one, but executive producer on this one. He was a writer because they're his characters, but not actively as far as we know. But Kevin Williamson was asked by Collider if Stu was still alive, and he just said, no, he's dead. I think that started because of the college scene, that frat party scene, because he's standing in the background. He just came to visit the set that night. Of course, this has a bunch of people on Scream Reddit boards and online and stuff, and a huge tissy, because for some reason, the Stu thing's just a sore subject for people. And I understand if people are sick of hearing about it from people like me, who was like, yes, Stu's still alive, I would love it. I made a whole video about exactly why I think that could happen, and why he hasn't been mentioned, and that his death was faked, and all this shit like that. So I'll put that at the end of this video if you guys want to check it out. I won't make anyone else suffer through it anymore. But there's also a lot of people out there now going, ha, you fucking clowns, I told you Stu was dead, you fucking idiots, I'm so sick of your, all this stuff like that. There's 2 ways to go about this, okay? Number 1, whether he's dead or not, if someone's out there saying, boycott the movie if Stu doesn't come back, that's fucking stupid. If someone's out there saying, let's make a petition to bring Stu back, that's fucking stupid. But if you have somebody who's just saying, man, I really hope they have Stu back. Hey, maybe this thing right here is a clue that Stu could be coming back. Maybe the old mask is Stu. That would be rad. I would like that. Getting so fucking pathetically angry at them for that, and being insulting towards them for that because they would like to see something happen in a fucking movie, that's really stupid. That's stupider than any of this stuff, and for the most part, I haven't seen anybody be like boycotted if Stu doesn't come back, or people who don't want Stu to come back is an asshole. Let's be fucking adults about it. Number 1, it's a movie with fictional characters. Number 1. Number 2, I've always been super annoying and loud and in love with the idea of Stu coming back. I would love to see it, but if someone says I don't want that, I just go cool. But it feels on the flip side of that, if you're like, hey, I'd really like to see Stu come back, there's a section of people who are like, you're not allowed to fucking say that. He's dead, and I know he's dead. And I was like, I didn't know you were Jesus Christ of the fucking Scream franchise, all right? Calm your tits. Now, apart from that put aside down there. Put that little guy away. Apart from that, I don't believe Kevin Williamson here. I don't. I really don't. Now, maybe he's telling the truth. Maybe Stu is dead. Maybe Stu's not going to come back. Maybe they've already decided that. And again, I don't think he's going to be in 6. I think he was in 5, just not shown. I think he will be in 6, just not shown. I don't think it'll be revealed. I don't think Matthew Lillard himself will be there in the movie as Stu until 7. But that's a whole nother conversation. Here's why I don't believe Kevin Williamson on this. The guy's been asked this 1,000 times. He's been asked this 1,000 times. Everybody always brings it up. It's a big running thing in the Scream franchise. He decides now, after that trailer comes out, and after people are going, hey, this is that old mask, this is interesting, the old killers, this would be a great time. As soon as people start talking about Stu once again, he comes out and he says, all of a sudden now, he's like, no, Stu's dead. And then the weirdest part is he plays stupid. He's playing dumb, and it's obvious that he's playing dumb because, as we all know, if you've been following this story, they wrote a Scream 3 script with Stu in it. It ended up being the plot of the show The Following with Kevin Bacon, where Stu actually ran a cult. So when Kevin Williamson wrote him as still alive already once before. So the fact that he comes out, it must be because of the cameo in Scream 2, but he was just playing another character. That must be what they're thinking about. He knows that this is a conversation we've all been talking about. He knows that he wrote a whole script with him still alive. So whatever, if Stu doesn't come back, fine. I'm not going to be angry about it. It's not one of those things I'm demanding. I think it's really entitled and stupid when fans do that about certain things. Sometimes it's like, hey, I get why you're pissed. But I'm not demanding it. If they don't bring it back, out, bummer. Hey, I'll watch any fucking Scream movie. I don't care. You know, I think it'd be awesome to have Matthew Lillard back. But my point is this: is that it just seems to me that, this makes me think Stu's coming back even more. I'm sorry, it just does. The fact that he finally answered that question was like, no, he's dead. And then was also just like playing dumb about the whole like, oh, they must think that because he was at a party. Is that what they said? Huh? That's good. Yeah, no, that must be what they were thinking. When it's so obvious, all the different things that have been spoken about this before, it makes me think Stu is more alive than I ever did before. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. So if you thought you put out that light, then I'll have you think again. I still believe that. I think we're gonna get Stu in Scream 7. That's just my belief. I'm not telling you to believe it. I'm not putting any money on it. I just got a feeling in my tchotchkes, deep down in my plums, that we're gonna see Stu in 7, and I think that this is even more evidence to that. So at the end of the day, though, it doesn't matter if you don't want Stu back. I respect that and I understand it, and I feel like there's a way to write it in there. That's why I made that whole video about it. But hey, movies, man, fictional characters. It seems weird to me that he would be radio silent about this all this time, and then just a couple days after the trailer, it's like, no, Stu's definitely dead. Are people talking about that? That's weird. Yeah, he's dead. Like he's never been asked that fucking question before. Hey, I love your all's fucking faces. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for watching these updates. Click subscribe and the bell. We are live tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, and we can come and we can all talk about it together. We're talking the movie news and just having a fun ass time tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you subscribe, click the bell so you get a notification when we go live, when we make these videos, when there's Scream news to talk about. Love your fucking faces. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Halloween never ends, suck my fucking dick, and I don't really care what Blumhouse fucking says. Put him in a box, or suck a fucking cock. You can say he's dead, but we all know he's not, yeah. So let's go trick-or-treating, let's go fucking drinking, let's all go rent Pumpkinhead on VHS, cause Halloween never ends.